At this point, I think getting coronavirus is better than homeschooling.
Mama's Code.
Hey, mamas.
Corona, you will not shut us down.
That's right. You've done enough nonsense in this country, but you will not stop us. We will not be defeated.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, I'm Jess.
I'm Erica.
And
today, drum roll.
Today we are joined by a special guest. She is a mama of 4. I mean, she's a mama of 4. She is a mama of a 4-year-old little girl. How's Corona treating you?
Oh, I'm fed up of it already.
How's isolation day 3 taking you? Are you looking forward to having your daughter there 24/7?
I'm looking forward to not having to wake up at 7 on the dot to get her ready.
What makes you think you're not going to get woken up at 7?
Yeah. Knowing her, she'll probably wake up she'll probably wake up earlier at 6:45.
Stand by your bed like, I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a snack.
What about you, Erica?
Oh, mate. At this point, I think getting coronavirus is better than homeschooling. No, I'm prepared. It's just, because obviously food is not available. So I just start panicking because I'm like, my kids eat for days and like they ask for snacks like every 2 seconds. So our stockpile is going to be empty on day 3.
If you make it to
we're
day
not even
3,
on lockdown yet.
You're going to have to lock down the fridge and the cupboards, rationalize every single biscuit.
Maybe like cut it
Give
up
them
in
half.
quarters and maybe teach them.
Yeah.
What about you, Jess?
Oh, do you know what? Everyone's talking about this isolation and do you know what? I just don't get it because I've been living this life for the past 10 months. I mean, this is just welcome to my daily life.
How do you feel in terms of
minus having
like
to fight
going
from
out? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the food for your kid.
Yeah. That's the scary part.
I mean, I've been trying to find nappies for him and it's a nonsense. Like, surely you don't need so many nappies. Like, I'm pretty sure on a daily shop you get like maybe 2 packets, 2 for the price of £13 or something, not like 10 packets of nappies. I think we're just going to have to start potty training him now. I think he's old enough. He could become responsible. But I mean, yeah, my partner's at home for the next possibly 12 weeks. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this. I know.
That sounds fun.
Divorce.
Oh no, I just don't know if this house is big enough for us.
Definitely not. I think you should send him out. Tell him to get the coronavirus.
I might. Oh no, I was going to say I might send him out with Leo. But...
Take one for the team. That's a bit mean.
But yeah, no, it's all good in the hood. We'll get through this together.
We shall.
How's everyone coping, like mentally, with like obviously the whole pandemic going on, but also homeschooling? Maybe Moo, this doesn't really relate to you, but you still have to keep a 10-month-old busy without having to actually take him to say like play centers and stuff.
Oh, do you know what? The other day, I think it was 2 days ago, when everything hadn't gotten to my head so much, because now I'm just paranoid. But 2 days ago, we went out to Asda. It was such a lovely day. And he got so excited when he saw me put his coat on, like he was laughing. And when we left the house, he was like enjoying the fresh air. So do you know what? And today, like he's that type of kid that, I mean, I'm pretty sure 95% of children are like this. They have all the toys in the world and they just want to play with cables and rubbish. And everyone's like, we need to wash our hands and stay, keep our hygiene up to the max. And I turn around and my guy is licking my chanclas.
It builds the immune system.
Yeah.
You still need to take them out though. I think I'm gonna
turn on el ventilador.
Just turn the fan on his face. What about you guys? I mean, you're actually having to school the kids. Are you preparing for it? Are you doing anything? Are you doing a schedule? I've seen a lot of these schedules going on around Instagram.
I've seen the schedule. I've got the work pack on my table.
Oh, what do you think?
I'm going to try and give her breakfast and sit down with her, carry on practicing with her reading, maybe do some drawing.
So not too much pressure.
I don't want to sit her down the whole day, and I'm not even gonna. She doesn't use her tablet during the day. During the week, she's only allowed on the weekends. But I'm gonna have to make an exception and at least let her use it. I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. I've also planned to open my balcony because since winter arrived, I haven't opened the balcony. But even if it means her putting on her coat on and her scarf and let her ride on her scooter or her tricycle,
You can
go
have
around
little
in
picnics
circles.
out there.
Yeah, I'm not excited about me having to stand outside with her, but she's gonna need it.
Absolutely.
Or just get her Lego blocks and let her play on the balcony for a bit for some fresh air. It's not ideal, especially when they're so active. And on a when they normally have holidays, you can take them out to a play centre, or you can take them swimming, but can't do that now, can we?
And it's like, how are you going to burn her energy off so that she's, tired and stimulated the whole day?
Yeah,
as well as
give her a bit of beer.
No, please don't. As well as, keeping on top of her education as well. Obviously, you don't want to add stress to her, but it's kind of a bit of everything.
But I think people are taking this whole education thing too far, because they're like in preschool, so it's not like they're learning like GCSE stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, they are learning, and we're not going to slack on just watch TV all day. Of course, that's the easy way out, but I've seen people like, oh, my kid's never allowed to go on the TV or use a tablet. There is actually websites out there and apps that are actually good for learning.
Yeah. And they're fun.
And every kid, yeah, exactly. And kids at this age learn with fun. If we look at like the statistics at schools, if you go to your teacher and be like, oh, did my child like learn for the whole 6 hours there in school? No, of course they didn't. They learn for like a few minutes, and then all they've done is play around, because that's how they play. And I think the essential part here, we're keeping them at home, is teaching them values at home. So apart from doing like math stuff and reading, and yes, this is all vital, but why not take the chance also to teach them to prender la lavadora, teach them to take their clothes off and put it inside the wash, like do a recipe with them.
Yeah,
there's so many more things that
to make something.
Like you need.
I agree.
Yeah, like there's so much more that you have to do, not just sit them down and think they're going to learn,
especially because
it is going to get stressful.
You could be teaching them how to make cereal by themselves in the morning, so you can get a lay in.
Yes,
it's
I am
pouring milk in a bowl. Plastic bowl, here's your cereal.
The cornflakes like on the bottom drawer somewhere where she can reach. Leave some milk out.
Yeah, and it's all about independence.
Even teach her how to spell cornflakes so she can read cornflakes. Ooh,
guys, oh my god, do you know what? Don't feel guilty about screen time. Just put subtitles on and you've got them reading, and it's a win-win situation.
Like, I'm one to say, like, before I had like my kids, or even when I was pregnant, more like, I always said, oh, I can't believe parents actually let their kids like on their phone and watch TV all day. Mate, when you need to sit down and like rest for 5 minutes, I don't care what my son is watching. Like, he needs to.
What? So you're gonna let him watch porn
away from me?
That you previously watched?
No, obviously not. But like on Netflix, I'm gonna
let him watch anything.
Watching on Netflix. I know. I for once said my kid's not gonna, hold a phone.
I think everyone does.
Babe, I've been on like the trains. I've been like, when they throw these tantrums and all they want is a phone. The last thing you want is a screaming kid. So what do? Pass them the phone.
God, I give it to our parents. They never had these digital things.
No, I would say Sarah's not going to allow to watch Peppa Pig. They teach kids to cry and to be spoiled. And what does Sarah watch when she comes home from school, and if she's feeling like it? And I watch Peppa Pig and I'm like, yeah, go for it.
We didn't allow Joel to watch it for that same reason, Steph. And my second child, the first word he learned, Peppa Pig, Peppa Pig this, Peppa Pig that. And now we scroll through Netflix, and the only thing he asks for is Peppa Pig. So it's like, you can sit there and say all you want, that you're not going to let your child do this, you're not going to let your child do that, but let's wait until they have like a bit of more attitude and tell you, yes, I am going to watch that.
And you know what? It's 5 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour of your sanity. Like, if you've had a tough day, a tough morning, and your child is throwing a tantrum, I'm sorry, but we matter too. And you know, no one can now say, oh, screen time is bad. Yes, it's bad if they're just glued to the TV 24/7, and on the weekends, you know, they don't even get fresh air. But I feel like it's something that helps our sanity as well, you know.
Most of the time, they're not even paying attention. They're probably just listening to
Exactly.
playing regardless. It's just knowing that it's on. When I turn the channel, she's like, "Oh, mum, but I'm watching." I said, "No, you're not. You've just got it turned on. I want to watch something." "No, mum, please." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna put it back on. She can leave me alone."
Yeah.
So do you think this is going to affect your mental health? Like, do you think it's going to drive you up the wall?
I think so. I do.
Yes.
I would like to think it might not. It's a learning curve, I believe, because in light of all these things that's happening, like when I got told that obviously kids are like schools are closing, I instantly thought, oh my god, you know, getting coronavirus seems like a better idea than homeschooling kids. But in my defense, it's because obviously I don't want them to be behind, and I feel like education is like vital for them. However, I've got two kids, two different ages. So obviously Joel's 5 and he's concentrating on something, and then you have the little one like screaming Jojo, Jojo, Jojo. So it's like, you know, trying to balance that out, and I can already imagine the problems I'm going to have when I am trying to, you know, get Joel to do work, and then I have Caden screaming, like wanting to do work too, but he can't even hold a pencil.
And not letting him concentrate.
Yeah, or like having a tantrum because he wants to do what Joel's doing. Because at the moment, that's his thing. Like if Joel like jumps off the wall, then Caden obviously he's going to have to copy him, isn't he? So I think that's where I feel like my mental health is going to drive me insane, because obviously I'm working from home. You know, being in like when I have to log into meetings
and having them around,
trying to get them not to scream. Yeah, it's going to be hard. But I mean, I'm just going to have to, you know. I think it's just, you know, getting used to the idea, because we didn't get like a specific day that schools are going to open again. So whether it's 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it's just we're going to get used to it. And I bet you any money once they go back to school, that first day we're going to be so excited. But when we come home,
we're going to miss them.
We're going to miss them.
You're going to miss them.
Yeah,
you'll probably go home crying because you left them back at school.
Yeah,
exactly.
But once the weekend comes around, you'll be like, for fuck's sake, is it Monday yet? Go back to school.
Yeah.
God, it's just a vicious circle, isn't it?
Mama, I love you.
So, any tips to keep sane?
Just don't stay quiet.
Yeah.
I always reach for my phone, and whoever I can find. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad mood. Please just save me.
Send help.
Have my rent. And then look for some memes and have a laugh. And
we plan to sell our kids on Etsy,
but deliveries will take long
on eBay.
To be fair, coronavirus, they'll probably find the cure before you sell them on Etsy, because the deliveries.
I would deliver them myself, to be honest. I've got 2 going for the price of 1.
No one's gonna want them.
So obviously you've just touched on the subject about you know, you turn to your phone and call your friend. Did you guys feel like you lost friends when you found out you're pregnant, or like was it after when the baby came that you lost friends?
Yeah, I do. I had loads of friends, and then once I was pregnant, I realized I only had friends, acquaintances that would take me to like clubs and stuff, but they weren't actually friends. When you have like kids, it's when you actually realize who's down for you. And that's when we go back to the part where when you're pregnant, and even when you have a kid, you feel so lonely, because you're obviously used to, you know, and you see these other friends and stuff continuing to go raving and doing all these other things that you wish you would be doing, but you can't. Like, your life's completely changed now.
Yeah, because obviously, I say this because the whole isolation thing, the other day, I was going down my phone thinking, like, who do you call when you're bored? And, you know, it narrowed down to my circle, which I'm very grateful for. But it's like, if you look back, it's like, damn, like, I remember I had so many people on my contact list and so many friends, but now it's like, it's just, and why is that? And then, you know, it's people you had before you were pregnant, people you had when you were pregnant, that they were always there. And then where are they now? You know, this whole isolation has kind of gone on.
You realize once you have a kid, you realize well, like Erica said, you know a lot of people, but they're not your friends or they're not your close friends. You realize who's there to, Steph, do you need something? Do you need something? Does the baby need something? They're the people that.
Did you lose anyone that you thought you wouldn't lose because of a baby? Like someone that you thought we were tight and now they're not there?
I fell out with a friend when I found out I was pregnant, and it took me a year to speak to her again. And when she then got pregnant, I think she kind of realized what I felt when, the news came out that I was expecting, because I don't think she was too happy about it. And
do you think it's because she thought, oh, my party friend is now knocked up and that's it?
100%.
Yeah, I
think it was that selfish.
Maybe it was a bit of a shock where it was all of a sudden, because I was shocked. I was shocked. There was a bit of a like, whoa, why have you gone and done that, instead of being happy for me? And I think that offended me, because we were very, very close and we would do everything together. We'd go out together all the time. And like I said, when it came around to her, I was different about it. And I said, I was happy for her. And I think when she was then in that situation, she said, oh, Steph, you know what? Thank you. And I understand now how you felt and what you expected from me when it was, when it was your turn. Yeah.
She humbled down.
Yeah. I don't think I lost. You just realize who, like I said, what acquaintances are and what friends are. I haven't lost anyone major, to be fair. Thank God. I still have my friends that I've had for quite a long time, but the circle is quite small. And the more your kids grow up, you realize that you don't want to be around the wrong people.
What about relationship-wise? Did it affect you having a baby?
It was difficult. It's difficult to juggle. I could say it's not easy, because you're dealing with, well, in my case, I was pregnant, and then obviously I found out I was in Colombia. So coming back, finding somewhere to live, then moving in with my partner, juggling being pregnant and learning to live with someone all at the same time is very difficult. And I don't think it's very different when you're with, you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you live separate from each other. Whether you're pregnant, whether you have a kid or not, it's once you live together, everything changes. You start realizing how
you
messy
start
a person
thinking,
is.
damn,
how annoying
am I sure I want to be with this person?
Yeah, you realize, they don't do the bed every day when they wake up, or they don't pick.
It's just when you would go around for Netflix and chill.
They sold you a dream.
They would have like nice duvet, that the room will be so tidy. They'll be like, oh, Ahmad, let me bring you a drink, let me get you some food. And then you move out and you're like, what happened? Why did you change?
To be honest, probably their mum did it for them.
I thought we were friends.
So it's
did at any point you doubt it? Because I did.
Did I doubt?
Oh, I did 100%.
Doubt it, like not the pregnancy, doubt moving in with the person.
No, like why? ¿Quién me mandó?
Why didn't I go virgin to marriage?
No, to be fair, I wouldn't do that, because then you can't turn back once you're married.
What if the penis is small?
Oh my God.
That's tense. I don't think I could live with that. I think I need to see the goods before,
Yeah, of course.
It's tense. I take my hat off to those that do it, though.
100%. They are the
real OGs.
What about you, Moo?
What? Regret it.
Yes.
Not regret the pregnancy, but regret, like did you feel like during your pregnancy, like maybe your partner did something that annoyed you, and it kind of
literally I'll look.
Well, actually no, I'm not like that. I think I loved Camillo more during my birth pregnancy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, so I mean, going back to the moving in, I was living with him before we got our flat, and so I kind of thought, okay, like, yeah, this is doable. once we move into our flat, it's like, wow, like, you know, you're like, damn, you got your own space and it's all great. And then you just leave the socks next to the laundry on the floor. Like, why? The basket is there, chuck it there. And then I got pregnant and I thought, oh my God, I bet my son's going to be like the same and I'm going to have to pick up after 2 people. Anyways, fast forward, I was the type of person that would get irritated. Like, why are you breathing? I did love him a lot. It did bring us close together, 100%. He was always, you know, he was what I expected my partner to be like during my pregnancy.
Yeah.
He was very supportive. He was very optimistic about everything. I'd get a moment where I'd be like, oh my God, can you stop breathing? That was just here and there. Do you know what? I think I'm just like that because I'm not pregnant anymore and I still think that. So I think it's a lifetime symptom.
Why don't you tell him?
Right in front of me.
Tell him that. Why don't you tell him? Like, write him an anonymous letter saying that.
Please do not breathe.
If he does like a scavenger's hunt, like through the street, like touching things, he will like win.
What? And then he gets coronavirus. I can't leave my baby without no baby daddy.
I mean, you can get someone. I'm joking. You can get someone else.
No.
Mama's code.
Steph, this is a question mainly for you. And Jess. I don't really think it applies to me, although I did get asked quite a lot.
What?
You know, you have Sada, and obviously she's 4. How do you feel in terms when people ask you continuously, oh, why are you waiting so long to have another baby? Or like, you know, like when do you plan to have another baby?
How do I feel about it?
And how do you cope with it?
When I first had Sarah, I remember if Chris would say, oh yeah, next year. Oh yeah, next year. And then I was like, actually, no, not next year. Started thinking about it and I'm like, no, she's getting bigger. And Sarah's always had quite a strong personality, like temper. From about 6-7 months, sometimes she'd cry her eyes and I'm like, why are you crying? I've changed you, I've fed you, I've burped you, like what else do you want? And I was like, no, can you imagine having another one? Like right now I'd go crazy. Knowing that my patience is limited, I'm having to work on my patience, you know, having to learn to be more patient. No, I can't do it. I can't have another one. And I said with Chris, we're like, you know what? I'm going to wait until she's in full-time like education, full-time school. And then that way I've had plenty of time with her, you know, by myself. And then I'll be able to dedicate, you know, time to maybe another baby while she's in school. And now it's gotten to now she's in reception, now she's in full time. And people ask me, oh, when are you going to have another one? And I'm like, yeah, we do want one. Oh, okay. Not long ago, we met some friends and Chris knew them from before, I didn't. And they said to me, oh, how old is she? I said, oh, she's 4. Oh, but you should have really have had your second one already. And I
should you really? Oh, God.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, okay. No sabía que me los iban a criar.
Where does this say it? Is it in the small print? Because I don't know why I should be. Oh, God.
There shouldn't be a limit, you know, like a
time frame.
Time frame, that's it. There shouldn't be one. I just think everyone's different. Some people can cope or think they can, you know, they can do it, then go for it. But personally, I said from the beginning, no, I'm not going to do it. Like I can't, I'll go crazy with having 2 babies crying or, you know, 2 babies wanting to be cleaned or 2 babies. I couldn't do it. And now I think about it and I'm like, I would like to, but I'm not in a rush. You know, she's big and it's nice to think, you know, to have a baby and she understands more now, but it's not like I'm, you know, racing against time. I'm not going to put myself under that pressure just because people think, oh, having 3 age year gap, that is it. It has to be between, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather be, you know, mentally stable and say, yeah, I can do it, but do it. Obviously, Chris works full time. I know that I'm going to be the one, you know, being indoors most of the time with both of them. So I'd rather say, yeah, I can handle it. and not put myself under that pressure just because I have to please everyone and do it within that time frame. Yeah, no.
Absolutely. But guess what? I got good news for you. We are in isolation, so you might as well enjoy the time. No, but that
roll on baby in December.
Oh, please. I feel sorry for Christmas babies. They never get good presents. It's either the big Christmas present or the birthday present, but they can't get both. I'm sorry. What do you think this is?
Yeah.
Just like going back on that, the whole, when are you going to have another baby and stuff? I feel like this question needs to stop being thrown about like it's how are you or hello. Firstly, because no one knows what's happening behind closed doors, and obviously, like you said, the pressure sometimes gets to you. And do you know what? Just because you had one baby, it doesn't mean that you are now able to have another one at the click of a finger. Like, for all they know, you could have been trying for 3 years already, and nothing has happened. The same way as I remember. I mean, I can't relate in terms of planning for a second child, but I remember at first everyone would always be, oh, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? And it's like why? Like, what is the rush? Are you going to maintain my child? Are you going to pay for it? And is it your problem? I had a lot of things that I personally wanted to get done before I put babies on the table. And even now, actually, when I had Leo, I think it must have been like 10 minutes and I was already getting asked, when are you having the next one? And I'm like, can you let my vagina heal? Like, what the hell? Like, my midwife is still stitching me up. Why are you asking me this question? So I think people need to stop throwing this question about, like,
Maybe, and some people maybe just want one, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. And maybe some people previously thought, you know what, I want a big family, I want 4 kids, and now they just want one. Or maybe they wanted a big family, had to go through IVF or whatever means they had to, to get their baby. And, maybe people don't know how hard it was to get this child, and now you're asking me for another one. It's like, give me a break. I just want one, and I just want to, like you said, enjoy my time with this child.
Yeah, 100% agree. Sorry. Rona, is that you? But no, yeah, I agree. I feel like it's like Jess said, like, people are very insensitive with questions like this. You don't know the backstory to what people are going through. And yes, just because a person is smiling or, posting pictures of a baby online, it doesn't necessarily mean, just we've all been through it. Waking up at night, it's hard. And like, I feel like some mums, and they have the misconception, especially people that don't have kids. You think, okay, newborn stage is like pretty much the difficult side, because once they grow up, they kind of understand. You do not know the attitude this kid will grow up with. It's like, it's never ending. So for you to expect someone to be like, oh well, the kid's 1, why are you not pregnant yet? So the ideal of them growing up together. Even if my child is 3 and I have my kid 4 years time, they're still going to grow up together. They're going to live in the same room. So what is your business?
Do you know what? This whole, like you said, misconception about newborn is the hard stage. I'm sorry, but my newborn never used to beat me up in the morning. Do you know how infuriating it is to be woken up by a book or bricks just smashing into my face, or getting my baby's hair pulled? And then you turn around and you can't even get angry at them because they're just grinning there with their and they just laugh. And do you know what? Even if you say stop it, they find it even funnier, and it's just like, there's just no winning. You just have to give up and just get beaten up. But yeah, it's definitely not the. I'd say it's the easiest bit.
Every stage is different, but every stage is a challenge because they're learning new things.
I think that's the best way to put it. But so I know we've just said that it's not sensitive to ask this question, but if you were, if you did have a in mind to have a second child, do you think you'd have any insecurities and fears? Or, I mean, Grizz, I don't know if you had them when you were pregnant again.
Oh, I had them 100%. I cried. I feel like the first time I got pregnant, I was happy, but I was scared. second time, I didn't like the idea
because
of it.
you knew
And
what was
my kid
coming.
too. Yeah. No, and the thing is, like, I felt I've had this kid for so long, and, you know, I'm his basically. He doesn't need to share me with absolutely anyone. And now this other little human is going to come, and I'm going to have to, like, you know, share my love between the both. No, I couldn't imagine doing that. I could not. It did not phase that I would do. No,
Yeah.
no. I didn't like it. And I always, throughout my whole pregnancy, like, I tried, like, don't get me wrong, like, I was happy, and, you know, but I think, like, mentally I was struggling to think,
To
you know, how am I
understand
going to
it,
love this
yeah.
other child? And I just felt like, you know, I'm not going to be able to dedicate all my time to Joel. I would have to split my time, because obviously Joel's more independent now, and I'm going to have a newborn baby. How am I going to balance that out? And then when obviously Caden was born, and I had, you know, trying to put Caden to sleep, and then I'll have Jojo scream. I'll literally shout at him, and then obviously my mum guilt starts coming in, because it's like, oh my god, you're an idiot. Why are you screaming at him? He's a kid. It's what he does. So it's different things, because your patience, like Steph says, like, you start trying to, it gets tested beyond measures. But I think with a second child in mind, it's kind of like, you know, how are you going to cope with everything? And your kid, like, imagine, like, I remember many times, and I think I've said it previously, like, you're breastfeeding, and then your kid's like screaming, mum, come wipe my butt. And then how do I do both? And obviously your partners are working, so you're alone with these two kids, and they're both asking for things. So who do you give it to, the screaming newborn, or do you go wipe your toddler's ass?
I haven't thought about it that way.
It's hard.
Oh, damn.
You're like, oh, maybe I'll just stick to one, because this is a bit.
No, but like before, like, you won't think about it. Like, yes, if you want to have one, yeah, you'll be like, yeah, it's cool. It's only when you obviously it becomes real, and
When you're in those shoes,
the sensation inside of you, that, yeah, that used to kind of start like, oh shit, or like, you know, when, like, maybe Salah, like, goes next to you and cuddles you, you start imagining, oh my god, what's this going to be in a year's time? Am I going to be able to, you get me, like, she's going to want your attention for some things, and the baby's going to want your attention for another. So you're kind of like, how do I do this? How am I going to juggle this? But it's all a learning process, because now, like, they basically love each other up, and it's the most amazing thing to see. So it has, like, its pros and its cons. Like, it obviously mentally affects you at the beginning, because I think, for me, that I'm an overthinker, I think I was like 1 hour pregnant, and I was already thinking, oh shit, how am I going to cope? But that's just me. Other people might just be like, oh, you know what, like, I'll take every day as it comes. And that's great. Like, I mean, if you can mentally prepare yourself before the baby even, like, comes out, that's amazing. That's like one step forward. And a tip I can give is, during the pregnancy, try to, you know, tell your, like, maybe, like, our kids are already big enough to understand, but if your kid was smaller, try to make them more independent, so they're not so, you know, into you. And what, although you say that, but once a new baby comes in, there is jealousy, you know, like, there's always they want your full attention. So it's just a matter of learning, but it gets fine. Like, doesn't I obviously haven't sold it to you guys.
not one bit.
Believe me, it's good.
No, but I think obviously once your little one gets a bit older, he will also become independent, and it's like you said, it's just a phase that you have to go through, and then it's only when they're little that obviously they require more attention, and the oldest one will want, you know, he maybe he doesn't want to share, maybe he doesn't understand why now he has to share and divide his time, but it all turns out well in the end.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, Sarah asks for siblings all the time. In my head, I just thought, I think, you know, she's old enough to understand, but I'm guessing, like Erika says, maybe as when it does happen, or as the time gets nearer, maybe I will think, oh, you know, you'd feel a bit sad that you've got to split your time, or, you know.
Yeah, you'll feel those emotions.
Yeah, I remember my mum saying, oh, when I got pregnant with your brother, I would think, oh, how am I going to love someone else if I love this little person so much? How am I going to share that love with someone else? And this is what we were made to do. You know, we can do it without thinking.
That when just goes to show.
I'll let you guys know how I'm feeling.
That just goes to show that it's just across all mums. It's just
Yeah.
our natural way of being.
Yeah.
The mum guilt, the way, how am I going to split my love?
But look, some women have 6, 7, and they can do it.
I don't know how they do that.
R.I.P. vaginas, man.
Fuck it. So, just to wrap this all up, Steph, do you have a golden tip for mamas out there?
Yes, don't stay quiet. I always say it, even with like my friends, when I can tell I'm someone that I bother everyone all day long on WhatsApp or on social media. But when one of my friends are being quite silent, I'm like, she's not being herself today. I'm gonna message her. I'm gonna see what's wrong, and I will pester. Are you okay? Where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you messaging me today? What are you doing? Because sometimes I think when we do have an issue, some of us tend to stay quiet and bottle it up. Don't bottle it up. Speak about it. And you will realize that you're not the only one that's gone through that problem or that issue, or, you're not the only one that's felt that way. I guarantee you're not the only one. We've all felt a certain way or that way at one point in our lives. So don't boil it up. Speak about it, message or ask for help, or, just some advice. I promise you it helps. It does help.
Preach, sister. Preach.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I like I said, I'll pester my friends. I'll be like, you okay? Tell me what's wrong, or speak about it, or talk about it. And in the end, we realize, oh, you know what? I wasn't the only one. John la única feeling like this, or John la única that go through these issues, be it with your kid or your partner, or don't know, other side of the family, parents, mother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever. You're not the only one that goes through these issues. Talk about it. That is my tip.
And it's only when like Steph says, when you talk about it and talk to another person about it, that you realize, oh shit. And the person's like, yeah, I go.
And then you feel a little bit normal.
And your head starts thinking like, you feel like a weight is taken off.
We live in a world where we're watching. It's not the best thing that's happened, but we sit here. I do it. I've sat here before watching, people's Instagrams. I'm mainly on Instagram, so I'm watching and I'm like, wow, they look like they have such a great relationship, or they look like, wow, or they're always on holiday. Wow. But we don't really know what goes behind closed doors. We don't know what happens. Yeah. So it's not just, most people do it just to show, oh, you're doing great, but we don't really know what's happening or what they've had to go through to take that picture. Don't be fooled by what you see.
Yeah.
It's not all, it's not that meets the eye. Not all that meets the eye. Yeah.
Because behind that picture is probably a whole bunch of mess next to the whatever you're taking. And you've probably not cleaned, but that one place looks nice. I mean,
I know that I, for one, when I'm taking pictures of my children, I take away my mess and I just keep that, clean corner. Make people feel like my house is so clean.
And then they look around and they see all your dead twigs that you apparently called plants.
100%.
Well, Steph, that is a great tip. And I think that's a great message, now that we're in isolation and all this craziness is going on around us, that we've got the kids at home, our partners are maybe at home and the house is a bit too full. It's good to speak up because it's so easy to get caught up in your own box. And it's sometimes when you don't speak it out loud, you don't see a solution and you don't see a positive to anything. So for anyone out there, please
message us.
We already told you guys, you can slide in our DM. We are here to help you. And like we said, this is our open therapy sessions to get some weight off your shoulders and to feel a little bit normal if you're not feeling it, because in reality, we're all in this together and we're all going through the same thing in one way or the other, or we've been through it, or
bring a bit of positivity into the world.
Yes.
So guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much, Steph, for joining us.
Thank you guys. No, please do call again.
Sorry guys, about the audio. This coronavirus is trying to get in between us and you.
It's trying to prevent us from living our best lives. But yeah, guys, if you can follow us in Instagram at mamas.cold, or if you'd like to come in and speak maybe about anything you've gone through, or you want to bring awareness to things, we're all open ears. We'd love to bring awareness of new things, maybe things that we've all gone through. I mean, everything is welcome. Don't think anything's too silly. But yeah, thank you for tuning in.
Mama's Code out. Mwah. Mama's Code.
Go take your piece, Steph.
Good night.